Let the chaos reign. Standards. 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 I always think and wonder, as men and women, how we're looked down and shamed at to set what we call a standard for not just only one person, but as a collective. Women, yes, should have standards, and they go forth into their standards when it only suits them. There's no really consistency in standards when it comes to women on the average. And I say this personally because, like any human being or individual, I as a man, I always ask the opponent questions. You want this and you want that. You look for this and you look for that. But I ask, okay, what does that really look like? Albeit, let's just say not what does it look like, but what other steps are you doing to attain this or that? You want to be married. Okay, what are you doing now to position yourself to find the actual suitable mate to get on one knee and marry you? Or better yet, what are you doing now that once this person, let's say, goes all the way to the extent to marry, what really he gets in return for this greater sacrifice? Are you going to be a person that's going to be very lazy and give yourself away where you get so comfortable in this that you get and put on a lot of weight and have a very much attitude or disdain to you got the things you want, but then again you want something more? Or going further, you are expecting the whole world to kiss your butt. Standards are good, and every person, not only women but the men, should have standards as well. But biggest question asked, and this is for the women's side, what does it really look like? What is it that you want to see or gain out of this? Because when I hear and I listen to a lot of podcasts and streams down here, and when a logic man or a man that's asking the real questions, there is actually crickets. There's no thorough thought put into what you really want. And as y'all know, on the average, most men, especially men in this community, don't think on, the little details of usually a mate like that. They usually keep it simple as possible. So ladies, you ask for this and that, but what are you willing to do? What are you willing to fight? Because now you're putting yourself in a realm to compete to get the best quality man possible. That's the only way how the standards are going to be really effective. Being up there praying to Jesus Christ and all this crap and hope that it's going to poof, a man comes right in front of you is not really effective. That's that prosperity gospel garbage that's really leading down to most of the black community in a downward spiral. So you should know, ladies, if you're going to set a standard, you better be firm that you are in position or taking the precautionary action steps to attaining what you actually want. Other than that, the clock is ticking, mind you. And if you are if you're the late teens going on 20s, the clock is even faster ticking to get, if you never set a standard, what you're really looking for. Which most young people nowadays don't really think about this until they reach roughly in their late 20s. But by that, if no mate picks you up before you reach 20, after you reach past 25, it gets very difficult moving forward. Now, for the men, the standards. I solely believe enough black men very lack the standards of the women that they really want. And to be personally honest with you, that will eventually change in this 21st century. I hear the complaints and arguments of a lot of men talking about that they looking for women to look more pretty, beautiful, and lose weight, to have that model look image, which, you know, there are abundance of women that look like that. But it goes back again, and the fingers got point on you as men. Are you trying to attain this type of woman, especially if you reach a certain status, wherever your career, your money, to really get what you want? Because normally, you know, it takes that you have to be in the right state of mind to get that woman. And it's not hard for a man to get a woman that looks pretty much a dime piece, depending on how he carries himself and how well he could, you know, conversate, which that's another story. But I believe, I know that there is not enough standards between the black males in this community. And because we don't set a firm line standard enough as a collective of men, no matter the financial situation we are in, the only thing you will see, and you will continue to see, you will see your counterpart acting muck, going wild, setting exploring standards that they can't even fulfill or compete to get. And at the end, it becomes all messy. There are what we call chaos in our community. And it's not by coincidence. This is all structure design, and we are not doing what is necessary to break the infrastructure and structure that creates the chaos that permeates into the black communities. So I say yes, the black man should have a standard. His standard should be high as he gets older, and very more stricter, because at the end of the day, the women are watching, fellas. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. They are watching, and they watch everything that we say and do. So you have to, as a man, as you get older, your standards should be much firm on what you want and what you're not going to tolerate in a mate. That means if you're a man and you said your woman has to keep a certain look, that means she can't be too fat, then obviously you hold her feet to the fire. And you be firm about it. And you might have to give some consequence if she slips up and let her body go away if she has more than one kid. Especially if she's married to you. You know, so your standards should be very, very firm on that department. I should not be, as a man, seeing images or seeing you as a man if you over the age of 30 and you up here married to I guess, or you're in a relationship with a woman that is very much obese. And trust me, I see too many, or actually I see too much. I see too much brothers up here wifing up and you know, in relationships with non-blacks that are very fat, obese. So right there, you already send a painted picture to other women outside this community that you will take anything. You'll take a woman that is 250 pounds. And hell, we can go as far as to 300 pounds. I know most of our sisters don't want to be that weight, and they should not draw excuses why they're so fat. But at the end of the day, if you as a man, you still seeking her out, still trying to get that number and still want to have sex with, what do you expect? They feel say, you know, you'll take me anyway. If I got an attitude, that's fine. You'll take me that. If I look too fat and I put on too much weight, you'll take me that. Hell, if I even don't carry myself and I don't keep up, like, you know, my appearance, you'll take me that. Because there is no real set standard for men in this community when it comes to the black man. And that has to change. That has to really change. Besides the attitude will change very quick once you set that standard alone. Because certain things, you know, you're asking for the femininity. But like I said, if you take a subpar of what they are now and not being strict about it, and say you go as far as you will walk away in a heartbeat, then the women in this community will not change. They can run their mouth all they want until you as a man set that standard. And it should be not just by a small fraction of men. It should be a surplus of brothers in the society, in this community, to do that. That's when they will get it, and they'll have no choice but to get right and make that change. Because once they notice they're not being looked at or checked at, then they're going to start doing some soul and serious evaluation to why they're not getting what they're seeking. And trust me, women do adjust by what men are doing on average. We are the leaders of this community, and we have to act like it. There's no way around it. No way around it. And, I feel once the brothers, black men, set that standard and stay firm to it, you're going to see a very slow change. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about mate selection and all that stuff, men do have the power of giving that ring and saying, I want you more than just a side chick or in a relationship. I want to take it a step further. But only way that's going to happen is when the brothers set a standard of what they're really looking for and say what they'll accept and will not accept. And you don't have to be no millionaire to set no standard. I'm telling you that right now, brothers. Wherever position you are in life, economic or wherever, you set the standard. You set the standard high and hard. Don't be lackadaisy. Because at the end of the day, women are going to act and behave by what you allow. And, once enough black men in surplus do this, they're going to have no choice but to acquiesce. You are the leader. You are the leader. Now, to end this on this note, I'm going to read a very short passage that I discovered. This is dealing with social learning approach. Social learning theory, in contrast to other theories, emphasize the importance of environmental and situational determinants of behavior. Very interesting. One of the things on which I have to spend some weeks getting my students to understand is to pay attention to the italic words for a number of reasons. This is the author's way of projecting what he or she considers the most important part of the text. In a sense, the author is underlining the text. If you do not understand the italics words, then you really don't understand the passage. Use the italic word as a review. If you want to do a quick review, look up the italics word to see if you understand what they mean. If you understand those words, you have a pretty good idea of what the whole thing is about. You can self-test by seeing the degree of which you understand the italics concepts, and the introduction of psychology goes on to say. As we note in chapter 11, the social learning approach to motivation focus on the patterns of behavior and individual learning is coping with the environment. So, comment, subscribe, and like this video. And also you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Reign the 7th. The Chaos Reign!